Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of Dristhi IAS Editorial Analysis. In this editorial analysis, we do three things. First of all, we link the editorial to the UPSC syllabus. Secondly, we try to understand the key points of the editorial. And thirdly, if any key concepts have come in the editorial and are important from exam point of view, we also discuss that. So let us begin today's editorial analysis.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
We have taken today's editorial from the Indian Express, and the title of the editorial is The Shrinking, and it says that President Trump's decision to suspend new work visas could dim the American dream and may also delay the recovery of US economy. So let us look at its linkage with the syllabus. So we see that it links directly with GS paper 2, where we have international relations as one of the important topics. And under this, it comes under the bilateral relations between India and US, because the impact of H-1B visa restrictions will be felt on the Indian industries and the Indian companies, which avail the majority of these H-1B visas. So after establishing the linkage with the syllabus, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. So before moving on to the key points of the editorial, let us understand what the issue is all about. So on 22nd of June, President Trump has stopped all the work visas temporarily till December. And this ban was already imposed and it has been only extended. And the ban was imposed due to COVID-19 pandemic and its serious impact on the American economy. The idea behind this move is to save jobs for the Americans. But the American IT companies and the big tech companies like Apple, Amazon, Google and Apple are also not happy with this decision, as they rely on these H-1B visas to get talent and workforce from around the world, especially Indians. Another reason behind the timing of this decision by President Trump seems to be political, because elections of US presidency are due in November. And President Trump is hoping to gain some electoral dividends by trying to project himself as a savior of American jobs. As statistics point out that there have been 15% unemployment in the month of April in USA. But if we see sector-wise, then in technology sector, only around 2.5% unemployment was there. And this H-1B visas basically cater to technology sector. So this seems like a political decision largely, taken with electoral gains in view. Now H-1B visa was introduced in 1952 by the US Congress. And that time it was known as H-1 visa and it was for only skilled workers of distinguished merit and ability. But in 1990, it was further divided into H-1A and H-1B. H-1A for nurses and H-1B for workers in specialty occupations. So after this brief background on H-1B visa, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. The editorial says that the President Trump's decision to suspend new work visas could dim the American dream and may also delay recovery of the US economy. Now here American dream refers to the opportunity that America gives to everybody who goes to America to lead a life of prosperity. But after such restrictions on work visas, this American dream may not come true for a large number of immigrants. And the basic idea behind this ban on immigrants or ban on work visas is that they are taking away jobs from the American workers, and their influx is leading to lower wages for the American workers. And also they are taking advantage of the welfare benefits. But if we look at the statistics, the story is the other way around, where immigrants have contributed immensely to the growth of American economy and to the living standards in US. In fact, if we talk about the Indian American citizens, they have been like model immigrants, and their population crossed 1 million in 2015, and they have also helped in bringing India and US closer. Also, India is a big recipient of remittances from the Indian American group. So the editorial says that on 22nd of June, President Trump has signed an executive order which suspends new work visas, including the H-1B visa for highly skilled workers, and this will be effective till end of December. Now the real impact of this ban is not going to be much on the Indian IT sector because already travel restrictions are in place because of COVID-19 pandemic, and largely the work by the Indian IT sector is being done in work from home mode using the cloud services. So the present impact of this ban may not be that much. The argument given by the American government is that it will help the American workers during this time of less number of jobs in the labor market caused by disruption in the economic activities due to COVID-19. But the timing is suspect because the elections are due in November and President Trump has always projected an anti-immigrant stance. And his administration's agenda has been to blame the outsiders or the immigrants for a range of problems ranging from unemployment to crime. But the editorial also says that a recovery in the labor market could strengthen his chances of re-election. That is the thought of the administration and President Trump. But this may or may not be true because decisions driven by narrow and short-term political considerations often ignore the larger costs over the long run. And the US economy has been a beneficiary of these work visas, which has allowed the talent from all over the world to come and make the American dream come true for themselves as well as for the American economy. And this has led to innovation and American companies being number one in the world in technology field. But with such protectionist actions, US is only going to harm itself and its economy. And the editorial says that US is no longer a champion of globalization, which it always has been in the past. US has always stood for free movement of capital and labor in the past, but now it is opposing these very things. And editorial also says that this kind of move is going to hurt innovation and delay the recovery of the US economy. Also here we should know that this will also benefit China, because if the talent will not go to US, then China will gain that competitive edge over the US. And also it is going to benefit countries like Canada, which have a liberal policy towards immigrants, and the talent may move there. Now the arguments against immigration given in America are very simple and straightforward. The first argument is that immigrants take away jobs from American workers, their influx leads to lower wages, and they take advantages of the generous welfare benefits. But if we look at the statistics, it shows a different picture. It shows that the role played by immigrants in the success of US economy is huge, and it has been a win-win situation for both the immigrants as well as the US economy. And also the US companies are not happy with this turn of events, and people like the Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai, who himself had gone to US on a H-1B visa, and people like Indra Nooyi of PepsiCo, these people have benefited from H-1B visa and also have contributed a lot to the US economy by their work in their respective companies. And people like Sundar Pichai have said that immigration has contributed immensely to America's economic success, making it a global leader in technology, and also Google, the company it is today. Also, Elon Musk of Tesla fame, he has also said that he is not happy with this action of the government, and he has also stated that the people who are coming by these work visas, they are net job creators in the economy. Also, another factor to consider here is that many of these jobs for which these work visas are allowed, the American citizens are not able to do that job because of lack of ability, or they are not interested in doing that job. So either ways, it is better for immigrants to take these jobs, and it helps the American economy as well. And the editorial says that now with this action, the US based firms may face difficulties in filling up positions which require specific skill set in sectors that drive the economic activity, and which in turn contribute to expanding the employment opportunities for local labor. So it might lead to the exact opposite of what President Trump and his administration is thinking, that this move will help in creating jobs. It might end up doing the exactly opposite for American jobs. Finally, the editorial says that these restrictions are neither good for America nor for India, because India gains disproportionately out of this H-1B visa regime. An editorial says that Indians had applied for as many as 1.84 lakh or 67% of the total H-1B work visas for the current financial year. And statistics also show that India is the number one country which gets the H-1B visas, followed by China. And because of this, India has a lot of stake in such decisions taken by the US government. And the Indian government must have a dialogue with the US government and impress upon it to institutionalize the immigrant relationship, and by asking the US government to keep its immigrant policies stable and consistent. Also, in the long run, India must look towards creating an ecosystem within India to nurture talent at home, so that major technological innovations which the Indians are doing in countries like US can be done within India itself, leading to prosperity for India. So this was all in the key points of the editorial. Now let us look at the key concepts. In key concepts, let us look at H-1B visa. So it's a non-immigrant visa that allows US companies to employ graduate level foreign workers in specialty positions. And specialty occupations require theoretical or technical expertise in specialized fields such as IT, finance, accounting, architecture, engineering, mathematics, science, medicine, etc. And any professional level job that usually requires a bachelor's degree or higher can come under this H-1B visa category. And H-1B visa holders can bring their spouse and children under 21 years of age to the US under H-4 visa category as dependents. Also here we should be knowing about L1 visa as well, which is a category of visa which allows for intra-company transfers. So if a company is US based, it can transfer its employee from India to US on L1 visa. Now Indians are the largest beneficiaries of the H-1B visa regime, and 3 out of 4 H-1B visas in 2018 were given to Indians. And the latest move by the US government will hamper Indians who are working in the US on such visas by decreasing the chances of employment. And this move by the Trump administration is part of its America First policy, which is veering towards protectionism, whereas earlier US has been a champion of globalization. Also here we should know about green card. So it is officially known as the permanent resident card, and it is issued to immigrants to the US under Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952, and it allows a person to live and work permanently in the US. So after this, let us look at the kind of questions which can be asked in prelims and mains. So in prelims, one should be clear about the types of visas, and the most important is H-1B visa, then the H-4 visa for the spouse. H-4 EAD is a type of visa which allows the spouse to also take some work, and L1 visa is for intra-company transfer, whereas H-1A visa is for nurses. So this we should be knowing. Now in mains, the question can be on H-1B visa and the temporary suspension by the Trump administration, and what will be its impact on the Indian IT sector. Also, a question can be asked on how to reduce dependency on H-1B visa by India. And there can also be a question on the impact of visa rule change on India-US relations, the bilateral relations, how can they be impacted. So this was all in today's editorial analysis. We'll see you next time with another editorial. Thank you.